A very good morning, dear students. Welcome to e-learning classes of second subject business studies. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have discussed the concept of departmental undertaking. We have discussed about the concept of departmental undertaking. Thereafter, we have discussed the different features of departmental undertaking, such as these are working as a ministry under the ministry or the department of the government, or they are financed from the annual budget of the government, either from the state government or the central government. Thereafter, we have discussed the next feature, that whatever the earning is there, that is being collected in the treasury of the government, and so on. After the discussion of features, we have discussed about the different merits and demerits of the departmental undertaking. In the merits, such as the flexibility is there. For example, the working environment is very cooperative is there, and in the very less amount of formalities, without any delay, it can be created, and a sufficient amount of finance is always available with these undertakings. Thereafter, we have discussed about the demerits. Then in the demerits, we have discussed about the different points, such as inflexibility, that means there is always interference of government officials and ministers. Thereafter, we have discussed that delay in the decision taking and red tapeism and bureaucracy, etc. Dear students, today we are going to start the second concept of public sector enterprises, and that is the public corporation or statutory corporation. So dear students, the very first question arises, what are the public corporation or statutory corporation? So a statutory corporation is a body corporate formed by a special act of parliament or by the central or state legislature. So in the simple words, what we can say, public corporation is a body that have been created with the passing of a certain act in the parliament or by passing of the legislature by the either by the state government or by the central government. Now see further, it is financed by the government and it can arrange its own funds also. So it is having the both option. That means they can have the funds from the government and as well as they can have their own funds as well. If we just discuss about the examples of public corporation, then Indian Airlines, Air India and State Bank of India, etc. are some examples of the public corporation. Now, the features of public corporations, when we will discuss the different features, the concept of public corporation will be more clear. The very first, it is created by an act of the parliament or central or state legislature, either by passing of the act in the parliament or by the legislature of state and central government. Second point, the powers, objectives, limitations, working authority, working field, all the stuff is being defined in the concerned act only. Next, it operates under the total control of the central or state legislature or the government. The next feature is it is a separate legal entity. That means it is having its own identification, it can be created as a stated as an artificial body. It gets incorporated, that means created automatically when act is passed in the parliament. As soon as the act will be passed, the public corporation will be created. Next, it is managed by board of directors, and the board of directors are being managed or nominated by the government only. So indirectly there is the control of the government. Next, the public corporation has its own rules of recruitment, remuneration, compensation, filing of the complaint, etc. And the last feature is it enjoys administrative autonomy. Autonomy means freedom, as it is relatively free from the political interference. Now we will discuss about the different merits of public corporation. So the very first is the administrative autonomy. Administrative means to control, autonomy means freedom. So it used to provide a greater degree of autonomy or freedom to the public corporation. Thereafter, next one is the quick decisions. As there is less content of the paperwork, there is few amount of formalities, red tapeism is comparatively less, and that is why the decisions can be taken very fastly and their implementation as well can be done timely. The next one is the service motive. All the public corporations are not meant for the profit. All the public corporations are meant for the motive of providing services to the public. The next one is the efficient staff. If we talk about the public corporation, then it is having its own rules and regulation regarding the remuneration and recruitment of employees. So it can provide better facilities so that the better professional can be attracted, and as a result the staff will become efficient, satisfied, and if the staff will be satisfied, the staff will contribute more for the organization or for the undertaking. The next and the last merit is the professional management. If we talk about the professional management, then the board of directors of public corporation are some business experts, and even it includes the different representative from the different sectors of the society, for example consumers, suppliers, financiers, and so on. So all these are the merits of public corporation. Now the demerits of the public corporation. The very first is autonomy on paper only. That means whatever the freedom is given to the public corporation, it is just for the namesake and in the paper only, but in the real grounds the politicians, the government officials, the ministers used to interfere in the working of the public corporation. The next demerit is the lack of initiative. If we talk about the public corporation, then they do not have to face any competition. Why? Because there is no particular seller or organization available nearby them, and as a result the employees do not take any initiative to convert the situation, to make the loss or to convert the loss into good, and so on. The next one is the rigid structure. The objectives and powers of public corporations are defined by the act, and these can be amended only by amending the act. So if we want to make the changes, so initially we have to amend the act, and amending the act is not an easy task. It is a time consuming as well as a complicated task. And the last one is the unfair practices. So the board of directors may indulge in the unfair practices which may bring the inefficiency for the public corporation. Now the last topic of this today's lecture, that is the suitability of public corporation. That means when the public corporation will be suitable. So the very first point, where undertakings required monopoly powers, that means a single controller must be there. Second, where undertakings require special powers defined by the act. And the third and last, where undertakings require regular grants from the government. So this is all about today. God bless you all. Lots of love.